I still don't understand why there isn't just a Smash that's just Pokemon.
I mean, at this point, they've got enough characters. Lucario, Incineroar, they're both in there. Greninja's in there.
Yeah, but just put them all in one and just have it be the Smash Brothers.
So you want a Super Smash Pokemon edition?
Yeah, why not?
I could with that.
Yeah,
that sounds fun as hell. It's like Pokemon Stadium and meets Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
that could be really fun.
Young Junk. Listen, you jerk, sometimes a little pink puffball is more than a Kirby. Ozzy, we're on.
Listen, you jerk.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Listen, You Jerk, where we're going through the Smash 64 roster. Today, we're talking about Jigglypuff. Why Jigglypuff? This one felt like it was out of left field, and I also remember getting it in a really easy way.
Yeah, I never understood the Jigglypuff. I get maybe putting a second Pokemon in there, but Jigglypuff of all things, like there were a lot better options. I feel like Charizard was very popular at the time, so I don't get it personally. Part of me thinks that these secret characters were maybe an attempt at kind of experimenting with new favorites. Maybe throwing out their tertiary favorites from different games, I guess, but I just really don't get it. All Jigglypuff had was knocking people to sleep. Like, I just don't get it.
Also, you know what? I'm starting to think more and more. Jigglypuff, essentially, they had the model when they built Kirby. It would be easy to bring in another Pokemon, and Pokemon's the hottest thing in the world when this comes out, of course. In many ways, it still is. And, it was pretty easy. They brought in some of her moves, and they brought in some of the anime, parts of her, and that she does have a marker. And the marker was definitely not in the game, so it was definitely just an anime thing. But also, this was, for most people, a lot of like the first one that you unlock. Because all you have to do is beat the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that was literally, you just have to beat it. So that one, I didn't even realize there were going to be secret characters until you beat it, and then you get Jigglypuff, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, again, that's
crazy to think. She was the first, here comes a new challenger, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you beat the game for the first time in 18 minutes or whatever Captain Falcon was.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess, did you get both at the same time?
That's a question.
I don't remember, because I didn't get it the first time.
I don't know. Jigglypuff and Captain Falcon.
Yeah, see, Jigglypuff's character, the putting people to sleep is like a cool little mechanic, but the rest of it just makes no sense. Jigglypuff, the only thing she had was Pound as a move.
Well, you know what? Jigglypuff, if you could even like get a to be continued or something like that and still get her if you beat the game. The other ones, there were rules like you couldn't die. Captain Falcon was you have to finish in under 15 minutes. Another one that we'll get to was like stock damage or anything. But as you can see, it really is just a circle running around the screen. Yeah. And they gave a couple of punches.
And the floating is the same as Kirby. So you're definitely right about that. I think that was maybe laziness.
Yeah, they probably had it ready to go. And we're just like, all right. Same way they made Ganondorf, Derek.
Yeah.
It came from Captain Falcon. Ganondorf would be nothing without Captain Falcon, Derek.
We've been fighting about this all week since we did the Captain Falcon podcast.
It's true.
Yeah.
This fight never ends. But we're talking Jigglypuff. Okay, where's Jigglypuff from? Your favorite thing in the whole world.
Oh, favorite. Let's say favorite game world. Let's say that.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely it's from Pokemon. Jigglypuff is not only from Pokemon. Jigglypuff is an OG Pokemon. It's one of the first, I think, 5 or 6 that we meet. Other than our starting 3, we meet starting 3 Pikachu. There's a couple of wilds throughout there, but we meet Jigglypuff pretty early.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's by the mountains.
I was gonna say, as we're approaching Brock. In the game, I was saying anime right there. In the game, we start seeing, you can see Jigglypuff in, I want to say Vermilion Forest, but you can definitely see it, Jigglypuff in the grass heading towards that first cave. Pretty much all around Brock's area.
I know that Clefairy and Jigglypuff are in the same area.
Depending on which game you're playing.
Well, I'm playing blue.
Then you get Jigglypuff.
What?
I'm pretty sure Clefairy and Jigglypuff to start in red and blue, and fact check me on this, I believe they were color specific.
Can be found in the grass on Route 3, but the encounter rate was only 10%. But Mount Moon
that's
is where they're all chilling. And I remember there was an episode of the anime That is about that. So wait, are you saying Jigglypuff and Clefairy?
I think. It's been quite a while since I played red or blue.
Let's find out. It is non-conclusive.
Okay.
Non-conclusive, it doesn't say. Or it would take me too long to look it up.
Interesting. Maybe I'll go. I've still got Fire Red. I've got something loaded up where I can play an old game on the Switch somewhere, I think. So I'll go look that up later. That's gonna bother me.
That's gonna bother me too.
Yeah.
That's gonna bother me too. But anyway, Jigglypuff became a big deal because of the anime for sure. She's a singing Pokemon, and her whole thing is that her singing puts people to sleep. And oftentimes in the anime, she's portrayed as getting angry, probably just because she has the giant eyes that are super expressive. So they can do different things with her. And also commonly referred to as a her, but there's no reason it is a she.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely.
There are male Jigglypuffs.
There are. They would have to be, right? Jigglypuff is one of the early Pokemon that gets used to show you how to use eggs, whether it's in the anime or the game.
It is?
Yeah, like when the egg feature comes through. Jigglypuff is kind of like that person that teaches you that Pokemon. There's like Jigglypuff eggs. That's in what was the egg version of Jigglypuff? That was the one that actually had like its own little
egg version.
Yeah, like
a baby version.
Yeah, like Wigglybuff.
Well, Wigglytuff
Well, no,
is the evolution,
right? But then there was also like a
There's not a jacked version of Wigglytuff called Wigglybuff.
The opposite way. It's like Pichu to Pikachu. It's the baby.
Yeah, but we didn't get babies until when?
Later
Gold
on.
Silver?
Right. But Jigglypuff had one, is what I'm saying. Jigglypuff was part of that little crew that had like egg evolution.
Igglybuff.
Igglybuff. That's not Wigglybuff. Igglybuff.
Igglybuff.
Yeah.
Not in this game, though. All right, so yes, Pokemon is bigger than the world. And actually, this is perfect. What they're showing right now, this is them playing on the Pokemon stage. Pokemon was the biggest thing in the world. Everyone loved these characters at the time. Obviously, Pikachu more. But this was the whole point, probably, is like get as many of these pocket monsters in as we can. And I guess, Jigglypuff in probably the first season of the anime. There you go. There's the Sing Attack. And there's this Leap Attack.
I hate it.
In the first version of the anime, I know you do meet her relatively early, and all she does is sing and put people to sleep. But then she'll have this aggressive nature. So they took some of that and put it in this game. So in the moveset, it's kind of interesting. Her B up will put someone to sleep, which is very annoying. But her B down is where she uses the sleep move. And instead of having it be nothing, which if you do it and you're not touching anyone, it doesn't do anything, they make it be like the most powerful weapon in the game.
I don't think I was ever... I mean, I've definitely used Jigglypuff. I don't think I ever used her enough to really get good with that. Especially because if you did miss that singing part, like if they stayed away from you, you were screwed because the reload on that was terrible.
Well, if you missed on the sleep, it's even worse because she goes to sleep.
Right, exactly.
At least in the one, you're in a sense like, as long as it's not a projectile, you're okay.
Right.
But, she's a little blob. Also, easy polygon. We should remember that, too. A lot of this was like, what's a polygon that we already know how to make?
Right.
Because it's Smash Brothers. But playing against her is not fun.
No.
Because she's got a series of cheap moves that can be pretty darn difficult.
Especially, like, the computer specifically was very good. Like, if you're ever playing against, like, CPU, or if, like, say you had 3 friends and you wanted to have a 4-person match in your little sleepover and, like, Jigglypuff ended up being the random. That would always be a problem. Yeah. The computer Jigglypuff specifically, I remember.
Was fun if everybody played as Jigglypuff at the same time. Like, it's one of those characters that is kind of fun if you all kind of handicap each other together. But the big thing with her that is not from the games is, like, there is no reference to her being able to float or jump or, have any sort of
I think that's part
Kirby-esque ability.
I think that's part of the Kirby cloning aspect, though. I think that's just...
It is weird that she feels more like a clone than anybody else, though. Luigi's also.
Still has a different moveset, though.
In 64, he didn't.
Okay, that's fair. No, with watching this, I feel like I'm watching Kirby right now. So that's kind of annoying, actually.
But whole point of it is like the playing as her. it feels like I wish I was playing as Kirby.
I'm gonna say
There you
that.
go.
Right, here we go. Obviously, I'm gonna say that because I mained with Kirby, but there was something about Jigglypuff like it just felt like a little bit less than Kirby. Like the floating is one thing, but I felt like it was a little bit less lateral movement. I feel like just the control wasn't there. The thing move was the main difference.
And superpowers. Kirby doesn't have like a meteor smash that's just beat down, whereas Jigglypuff does and uses it very, very effectively. I don't know. I always giant Jigglypuff. There's something to that, but I think it's just one of those like it is cute.
Well, giant Jigglypuff was annoying because if that thing used the thing sleep move, it was over.
It is hard to believe that Jigglypuff was in the OG game.
And you're definitely right. I think that making a second Pokemon be a character to then do 1v1s on a Pokemon map, like actually have Pokemon battles, like
I think
that's definitely a big part of it. Jigglypuff being the choice, I'm not sure.
I think we figured it out though. It's Jigglypuff because it's a swap of another character.
Which if you're gonna make a secret character and do all that, I feel like you could take the extra steps.
Well, shit. Now I'm starting to think about all of it. Is Captain Falcon in there because Samus Aran's a bounty hunter and they already had a bounty hunter archetype? Like they knew how to use that polygon body.
I mean, this game was ahead of its time in terms of graphics and all that.
They were also next to each other.
Like on the screen, you mean? I think Jigglypuff was next to Pikachu on this.
Yes, but I'm talking about. I went to the other one. I went Captain Falcon and Samus. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know. I don't have much to say about this character other than we know it's a Pokemon mainstay. It's there because of the anime. Absolutely. It's not there because of the game. Really wasn't featured heavily in the games until the anime kind of took it off. And definitely just those big expressive eyes you could do a lot with. And because she's a circle, that's the easiest way to kind of get her in. Like,
yeah. And again with the floating and the circle, that's definitely that helped a lot.
Importance to Smash.
Honestly, I'm not seeing a whole lot.
Yeah,
I'm
me neither.
honest with you. I think that the Sing mechanic probably led the way to some cool powers, some like status effect powers. I think that was the only one that would do an extended effect on someone. I think there's poisoning ended up becoming a thing like that's the first stats effect one, so maybe that was part of the trial and error thing,
which comes from Pokemon. Pokemon being an RPG and having status ailments, that actually makes perfect sense.
Exactly. So perhaps that's it. In terms of growth of the game, though, I'm not sure they wouldn't have got there without Jiggly. I'm sure they still would have gotten there without Jigglypuff. I think the importance was that they were experimenting and trying to pull as many people as possible. Maybe they're trying to get a different, the Pokemon crowd in there.
Well, and they eventually did. Although I think they added Pichu for Melee, and they added Trainer after that, right?
Yes.
And Trainer was the one that we all really wanted.
Trainer was great.
We wanted to be able to play with the original three, right. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charizard. And that you got to play as different evolutions of them, and Charmander, who turns into Charizard, sorry.
Right.
Meant a lot. I still don't understand why there isn't just a Smash that's just Pokemon.
I mean, at this point, they've got enough characters. Lucario, Incineroar, they're both in there. Greninja's in there.
Yeah, but just put them all in one and just have it be the Smash Brothers.
So you want a Super Smash Pokemon edition?
Yeah, why not?
I could fuck with that.
Yeah,
that sounds fun as hell. It's like Pokemon Stadium and meets Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
that could be really fun.
Get to play as like Jigglypuff.
Somebody listening out there, Nintendo, anybody, do it. That could be very fun.
Yeah, she's a gimmick, but a good gimmick. Staying around power, good for memes, good for talking about, good for pissing people off.
Definitely good for pissing people off. I've never seen someone enjoy playing against Jigglypuff.
That's true.
And it was always, whenever someone did pick Jigglypuff, it was always like, what? Like, what are you doing? Don't play with Jigglypuff.
I think Jigglypuff did know, like, what was that, Mega Punch?
I don't know.
Could she get like fight? I think Wigglytuff could get like fighting things.
Oh, you mean in the actual game?
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember if dual types were. a thing for her.
Oh, Jigglypuff is a normal and fairy Pokemon.
That's definitely a thing. Wigglytuff. I mean, anybody could.
Just a normal Pokemon.
Yeah.
We just had to get somebody normal in here.
Maybe that's it. But no, I think anybody could learn a fighting move. Wigglytuff was definitely one of those Pokemon you get for the Pokedex, not necessarily for actual utility. You could throw a bunch of random stuff on her, but you'd end up kind of diluting her a little bit.
She's also a bunny.
Yeah.
So Jigglypuff is going to be a rabbit someday.
Well, I'm not going to knock rabbits because Scorbunny was one of my favorite starters in one of the later games.
I don't even know what that is.
Scorbunny was the fire rabbit Pokemon. It was one of your 3 starters in one of the, I don't remember which generation, but one of the newer ones.
Well, if you want to piss people off, play as Jigglypuff. So listen to you, jerk. Jigglypuff, I think, is just a palette swapped Kirby, but had a great anime.
Listen, you jerk. As much as I love Pokemon, Jigglypuff, I'm going to go back to sleep.